All right, so I'm back. I'll be going live with Charlie Anzalone. We're going to talk about early UFC stuff. So I'm really fired up to do this interview because he's going to keep calling me. What, can you? Did you not get the invite that I sent you? Okay, hold on. What I'll do is I'm going to send you where the interview is through the message, and then you'll get it. Okay, give me one moment. All right, Charlie. So I sent you the invite. You should be able to join here. And just
How's that?
yeah, just turn your camera around. Right now, I see your kitchen or something.
Yeah, I gotta.
Turn it where it's facing you. Okay, there we
There we
go.
go.
Yeah. All right, great. Okay, so I'm here with Charlie Anzalone. I'm really interested to do this interview because I've talked to all kinds of people from back in the day, but I've never seen you talk or really. So for people that are watching this that may not be familiar with you, maybe you could introduce yourself a little bit.
Um, I was involved in UFC one. I was a manager, and I booked Kevin Rozier in UFC one. A little background on that: I hadn't seen Kevin in years. We used to work at a nightclub together, and he became a 5, 6 time world and North American ISK, WK, full contact kickboxing champion. And I knew him when he was like 18, 19 years old, working at a club. He goes, well, I want to take martial arts and I want to be a world champion kickboxer. Yeah, okay, Kevin. Well, sure enough, he did. And I hadn't seen him in a few years. And he was like a 230-pound tiger boy as a full contact heavyweight kickboxer. No leg kicks, just above the waist. And I was DJing at the time, which I did for many years. And I get a knock on my sound booth door. I open up the door. There's a 300-pound Kevin Rozier with a big grin on his face. I go, well, where the hell you been? He goes, I want you to manage me. There's this new event. It's crazy. There's no rules. You can get killed. I go, are you fucking nuts? So he gives me a guy's phone number. I call the phone number. The guy answers the phone. I said, his name was Art Davey. He goes, I have a new event. Um, I co-created an event. We're going to call it the Ultimate Friday Championship, where it's an 8-man elimination tournament. You got to fight 3 times in one night to win under common rules, which were no rules. It's a good high gouge or bite. The only rules. And I started giving him my sales pitch. I got a 5-time world super heavyweight kickboxing champion. I didn't even finish my sales pitch. And he goes, I'll take him. So that's how he got into UFC 1. Now, remember, a lot of guys turned it down. Benny the Jetter Kiedis, Donna Dragon Wilson, Bart Vale, a lot of accomplished martial artists. They didn't want to do anything crazy like this. And that's how we got into UFC 1. And we beat Zane Frazier in the first round of eliminations, which was one of the most epic UFC fights, where Kevin was holding out the top of the cage, stomping down on Zane Frazier's head. And then, of course, we lost to Gerard Gordeau the second round. But, you're supposed to get a break between the fights. Well, the fights didn't go that long. And they only lasted a few minutes sometimes. So we're in the dressing room. Kevin's got his hands in ice after pounding. There were no gloves back then. And they go, well, Charlie, your guy's up. Guy's up. We just got done. We mean guy's up. So we had to go right back and fight Gerard Gordeau. And, of course, Kevin never liked leg kicks. Gerard Gordeau was leg kicking him. And then um, then he went down, covered up. Gerard's pounding him. And his wife stood next to the cage. Stop the fight. They're killing my husband. I got the towel. I threw the towel. And after that, I used to get calls from guys. Art Davey and me became very good friends. We still are today. and he would only deal with managers. He didn't want to deal with fighters. So he would all these guys sniffing incense in the woods. Grasshopper. I'm a martial art. Mr. Davy. I would like to test my skills. He goes, well, who's your manager? Well, I don't have a manager, Mr. Davy. And he would go, I got a manager for you. He gave all these people my phone numbers. Who was this kook? And I brought some interesting guys to the UFC. Joel Sutton, who was the ultimate alternate. He won his 2 alternate fights. And in the UFC in Casper, one of the guys got hurt. And of course, back then, alternate went into the main event. But his hands were so swollen up from beating this guy on the head, he couldn't fight. And that's what I think Anthony Macias was put in as an alternate. UFC 3, the red jacket. I had this guy, Harold Howard, who was a Brazilian, Canadian Jiu-Jitsu and karate champion. And he was referred to me by another friend of mine. And so I go, I gotta think of something to do, a little self-promotion. There was a pro boxing promoter named Butch Lewis. And Butch Lewis always had a red tux on with a bow tie with no shirt on. So I said, I got to put on a show here. I got to get some camera time. So I went and rented this red tuxedo. And I came out, walked out with Harold Howard with the tuxedo jacket on, no shirt underneath. And John Milius, who was the creative director of the, he was a screen doctor for Apocalypse Now, the Octagon, Pret, all that stuff. And he was friends with Art Davey and Jorge and Gracie. He goes, Charlie created the first character of the UFC. He's the evil manager everybody wants to hate. And we were supposed to fight Royce Gracie. And Royce Gracie was kind of beat up after and exhausted from fighting chemo. And so they brought in a fresh alternate, Steve Jenham. And the TV director, Michael Pilot, goes, you got to have a camera on Charlie. Because if Harold Howard wins, he's going to do something really stupid. We got to get on camera. And unfortunately, we lost in the final of that UFC. Later on, I brought, I needed a guy for an alternate. I had a guy, Francisco Bueno, who was going to fight Mike Van Arsdale in the UFC down in Georgia or Alabama, I forgot where it was. And he hurt himself, bruised his sternum, whatever, training. So I needed another guy. So my best friend here in Vegas, a very well-known trainer, Nick Blomgren, One Kick Nick, who trained a lot of guys like Dewey Cooper, who I sent the K1 through him. Anyway, I go, I need an alternate. I need a guy who can wrestle and kick and punch a little bit. He goes, well, how about, we got a friend of ours. He's an amateur kickboxer. He wrestled in high school for a year or two. And then he wrestled at Cal Poly. And he was a good Kempo kickboxer. I said, can you grapple a little bit? And, well, he wrestled at college for a year. I said, I'll take him. I need to get a guy fast. And the guy's name was Chuck Liddell. And Chuck Liddell fought Noe Hernandez on the undercard as an alternate in that UFC. And that's how Chuck got in the UFC. And I remember Chuck, the first punch of the fight, Noe Hernandez whacked him right, boom, right in the nose. And his blood was dripping out. And he finally got on top of Noe Hernandez, who's an amateur boxer, and just started pounding the crap out of him. After the fight, he goes, is my nose broken? Blood just pouring out. I go, is this hurt? He goes, no. I said, then it ain't broken. So, yeah, that's how Chuck Liddell got in the UFC. And another Brazilian friend of mine, a promoter, Sergio Batorelli from Brazil, from Sao Paulo, we go, guy Chuck is tough. I want him to come to Brazil and fight Pele. You know, but Pele Landy, he was, legend down there. I said, this is his first MMA fight, man. The guy's been an amateur kickboxer. Pele's a legend in Brazil. And I go, how much do you pay? And it's back like 1998 or whatever. And goes, he'll be $5,000 cash. A lot of money back then, if you got paid. And I said, we want the money half of it. So I go, Chuck, you want the fight? Sure, I'll fight. But I said, Sergio, how much does Pele weigh? He weighs 175 pounds. I said, well, Chuck weighs 200 pounds. And he's not going to weigh any less. He goes, okay. So I sent One Kick Dick Bomber and Chuck down to Brazil and you can see it on YouTube. It's a brutal fight.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a ring, no gloves, and there was always a net around the bottom rope. If a fighter tried to score him out, the fans would throw him back, put you back in. And they went to a 30. He beat him in a 30-minute decision. What a fight! What a fight! And you could see Chuck dragging him by his feet. Nick Blonder, you could hear in the corner. Nick was going, Chuck, drag his ass over here. Chuck gets him by the legs. And he pulls him across the ring. Gets this guy's pounding. What an epic fight! I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
Yeah.
yeah, no gloves, and that's how that put Chuck on the map. Then I booked his last fight against, I forget who it was, the UFC, and he got choked up right at the fucking bell. But anyway, that was a scoop, and we moved on. And I brought Gary Goodridge back to the UFC to fight Andre Roberts at the UFC down at Casino Magic, which he won. And in the David Goliath tournament, a real controversial one, it was in Puerto Rico. That's where they had a big giant guy fighting a little guy in every fight. And Joel Sutton was supposed to fight in it. Joel Sutton got hurt in training at the last minute. It's like, God damn it. And so they replaced him with a guy named Don Fry. And that's how Don Fry got in the UFC. And Don Fry fought that big 400-pound Puerto Rican guy that cracked him.
Mm-hmm.
And I booked a lot of guys in, excuse me, in Shudo in Japan. I booked John Lewis against Ruben Asado too. And I ring announced the Valley Tudos in Japan as a guest ring announcer. Because I had announced the Valley Tudo event that Federico Lapenda put on in his World Valley Tudo Championship. Whatever we did, I remember that in Tokyo, we filmed 2 shows in one day in the searing heat in August, and we were sweating. I had to change my clothes twice. We were wringing wet in that arena, and they liked the way I ring announced, so they invited me to do the Valley Tudo Japan. Chudo is the best organization, run by Mr. Sakamoto, and I announced the Ensign Inouye, Frank Shamrock fight, and an Ensign Inouye Randy Couture fight. And I would bring him to the ring in English, and Daiki, the regular announcer, would do it in Japanese once they got in the ring. And those are some good times. Nothing better. I brought Din Thomas. I brought him to Shudo. And, oh my God, I booked Thomas Denny. I brought him to Shudo. I booked Dewey Cooper in his first ever K1 fights in Japan. And I think it was against Sataki. And that's what got Dewey Cooper into K1 USA here that we did at the Mirage and at the Bellagio. But yeah, it was a crazy time. Remember that Puerto Rico flight that they weren't going to allow it because the island of Puerto Rico, they had their own commission or whatever. He said, no, you got to wear gloves. You can't fight with no gloves on. So John McCarthy was there for a rules meeting there, and he told the guy, you put a glove on, and he, told the guy, hit the table with a glove on. And then he had the guy hit the table with his bare hand. Bang, he said, oh, wow, I don't want to do that. He goes, well, see, you do more damage with a glove than you do in a bare fist. Because you hit somebody once or twice, you can't hit him anymore with a bare fist. And that's why they allowed the fight there. The big controversy, of course, was when we got thrown out of New York State. The first UFC in Buffalo, I helped get approved because all my friends on the city council voted for it. And it was a great event. Because back then, the state didn't have any rules for mixed martial arts. They did kickboxing and boxing and stuff like that. So they left it up to the municipalities to approve no holds barred fighting. And that's how I helped get it approved in New York. Second time we were going to do it in Niagara Falls, it was sold out in the dead of winter, Niagara Falls Convention Center, snowstorm and everything. And it was banned in the middle of the night because, first of all, there was all kinds of negative publicity, of course. The New York Times called it human cockfights on the front page of the paper. And another guy, John Peretti, was going to do a show in Brooklyn in an arena. And they told him, why don't you do it in like Westchester, out on Long Island or something? I mean, just outside the city. You know, oh, you can't. No, you have no rules regarding this. We're going to do it. Oh yeah. Well, guess what? They had a late night meeting, and it's in Albany. Bam, boom. So here we are with a sold out event. People from all over the world came to Niagara Falls for this UFC. So they had a charter. We had to find a place to do it. We always had a backup event, and I had the redneck promoter down in Dothan, Alabama. I thought, where the fuck is Dothan, Alabama? They chartered a 757 and another cargo plane to carry all the equipment, the fighters, the cage, and everything. And we had like, mind you, it was probably 10 degrees out, blowing snow in Niagara Falls. We had like 25 seats left over on this big 757 after all the camera crew, you know, the fighters and all that. So we said, so the UFC said, well, we have some empty seats, and you people come a long way. First come, first serve. To get to the airport, are going to come to Dothan, Alabama with us. These people were out in the fucking snow, waving people down with money in their hand. Take us to the airport. Take us to the airport. We got to get to the airport. So we took some fans with us. In the meantime, I think, if I remember, the cargo plane carried some of the equipment, broke down. They had to get another cargo plane, load up I mean, it was crazy. We landed in Birmingham, Alabama in the middle of the night and took like a 3-hour bus ride to Dothan, Alabama. And the redneck promoter had every little mom and pop hotel all ready. We had all the rooms. We put like 5 people, 6 people to a room, sleeping on the floor. So just, you know, because we had to do the show that night. And so they had advertised on a rock station that UFC got thrown out of New York State. It's coming here to Dothan, Alabama, and the tickets are free. They had to put some people in the arena, you know, 5 hours later. So people went to the arena, and the place was packed. I got a little 6,000 seat arena, 5,000 seat arena, and they were still plugging in fucking white plugs and camera stuff. And at 9 o'clock, live from Dothan, Alabama, it's the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And the whole crowd, you could hear them cheering, New York sucks, New York sucks, on pay-per-view. And I had a guy named Nick Sanzo in that event. We went to the semifinal. So they told us, take all your bags, everything from the hotel room. The hotel room was only good for us to crash for a few hours to the arena. Because after that, we got another charter plane that we're going to take back to Niagara Falls. So the event coordinator, I think it was Kathy Kidd or somebody else, and they go, Charlie, how many people are with you? I said, well, there's 3 of us. My friend here, this guy was the editor of Black Belt magazine in Spain. I go, Charlie, we can only take you with 3 guys. We can only take the team members that came down. I go, what do you mean? The plane we got going back is smaller than the plane we came down on. So all the fans that came down with us, all that, were all ready to take the bus to the airport, and they made an announcement. Unfortunately, thank you for coming down. We're so glad you supported us, but we can't take you back to Niagara Falls, so we got no more seats on the airplane. So they drove us to the airport, and it's a 727, which is smaller than the 757 we flew down on. And it was pouring rain. And it's at a little military base. It didn't have real long runways. It was an old base, mostly a helicopter base. So we get on this airplane, and I worked for the airlines at the time. I was a crew chief. I used to load air, do the weight and balance and stuff. A blinding rainstorm. And we're rolling down the runway, and I'm looking outside. You know, the 1,000-foot markers next to the runway is like 5,000, 4, 3, 2, 1. I go, oh my God. And the plane rotated at the end of the runway. And we made it back to Niagara Falls. All the poor bastards that came down with us had to find a way back to Niagara Falls, Dothan, Alabama, in the middle of winter. And that was the true story about that event.
Hey, tell me about Harold Howard, you know, because this is something I really wanted to talk to you about. Like, tell me when you first meet him or first talk to him.
A friend of mine who actually taught Kevin Rozier karate, Bill Gallant. Bill Galan had a well-known karate studio in martial arts studio in Buffalo. We're talking one day, so I got to find a fighter for UFC 3. Because my good friend Harold Howard has a dojo up in Niagara Falls. He was a jiu-jitsu champion in Canada, karate champion. He's a heavyweight. Oh, I gotta meet this guy. So we got together. He's got the mullet haircut, the white beater T-shirt, the big and he wanted to test his skill. I said, okay. So we put him in the UFC that was down in North Carolina in Charlotte, and Art Davie loved him. He liked the look of him. You know, he thought it was just some other little jiu-jitsu guy. Here comes this guy, he's about 6'3" with the mullet haircut, with the glasses, sunglasses on. He goes, man, this guy, if this guy wins, this guy's gonna be a star. And we went, they would film us training and working out, you know, before the fight. So we went to this guy's gym, and Harold goes, you know, I need a bag of concrete. Fuck, you need a bag of concrete. Just go to Home Depot or whatever, and Lowe's, and get a bag of Sackcrete concrete, you know, those 50-pound bags. I said, what are you doing that for? Well, that's how I work out. I punch the bag. We'll wrap duct tape around it, you know, bare-fisted, so they're filming us. He's banging this can, puts a hole right through it, and this 50-pound bag of concrete goes all over the dojo floor. And he's like, oh, sorry, eh? You know, but that was the real deal. We didn't cut the bag or anything. He punched holes through a 50-pound bag of Sackcrete. And, he was a character. He was a fun-loving guy. And when they would interview each fighter as they introduced the fighters, because we got a saying back home that if you're coming on, come on. And that was the most famous quote of any fighter that the UFC ever interviewed. Remember, like Tito Ortiz and them, they were like big Harold Howard fans after that. If you're coming on, come on. And so that night we fought Roland Payne. Harold knocked the crap out of him. And then we were supposed to go and fight somebody else. Hoist Gracie had fought Chemo, and Hoist couldn't fight, so we were going to fight somebody else. And of course, that somebody else was a guy who hadn't fought all night long, with Steve Jenham. But before that, after we fought Roland Payne, we, here we are, we're going to go in the final. But the fight before that, we're walking back to the dressing room, and there was a thing that we would walk through to the octagon with big flashing lights going up and down and smoke and all that. Well, Harold, he's a tall guy. We're walking back to the dressing room, boom, 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 boom. He walks into the fucking big light kit, knocks himself out. The line director took off his headset, goes, oh my God. I go, oh, shit. And when he hit that thing so hard, that big light can, he jammed his neck. So I go, we're in a dressing room. Oh, Harold, if you don't want to fight, you don't have to. No, I got to go. $50,000, eh? And that's U.S. That's about 30,000 Canadian. or 60,000 Canadian. And it was 15,000 for second prize at the time. So I go, okay, Harold's good to go. Well, you see Harold, he comes out, he's got a towel wrapped around his neck because he had a stiff neck. He was walking out like this. He couldn't eat because that big can hit him in the head, knocked him right on the floor. And, of course, he tried to do this martial art flip kick thing there that didn't work, and Steve Jenham got on top of him. And that was the end of that. But he was really popular. But when we were supposed to fight Hoist Gracie, we were pissed off. He was stomping around the cage. He was so mad he wanted to fight Gracie. So I got into the act. I'm like, oh, God damn it. In the red tuxedo jacket, stomping around the octagon. Yeah, sort of like a delayed reaction. Well, yeah, that was Harold Howard. But during the press conference, they had an 8-man draw. And, you got the two brackets, random draw. Every UFC was a random draw. So we get in the press conference, we look, and there's the Japanese fighter and Ken Shamrock. Names were already written in on the two different brackets. So wait a minute. Well, the UFC, this thing to be shown in Japan. They wanted to make sure that Ken Shamrock and was it Takahashi or something? I forget who it was, but they want to make sure they were seen on TV. You know, so they put them in a bracket where they would fight each other, and it was already predetermined that they would probably end up fighting each other. And Harold Howard looks at the board. Oh no, it wasn't Gracie. I'm sorry. It wasn't Gracie. It was Ken Shamrock and Hoist Gracie's name were put up there. And Harold Howard gets up. No disrespect to Mr. Shamrock, but he has one loss against Master Gracie, and all of us have none. And I was yeah, that's right. I agree with that. And Art Davie was so pissed. You know, after the drawing, Art comes up to me. The manager I know and I trust and know the best. How could you do this to me? I'm not happy. Fix it. I said, how am I going to fix it? As it turned out, another guy Felix, God, what's his name? He was in the 8-man tournament. And he fought Shamrock. And he was kneeing Shamrock in the leg, kneeing him in the clinch and this and that. Shamrock ended up beating him. So when Shamrock was supposed to come out and fight the next fight against us, which would have been the final, he pulled out. He didn't want to, because Hoist Gracie had pulled out. So he didn't want to fight in the event unless he could fight Gracie. So that's when we got put in as the alternate. Or that's when we moved up. Steve Jenner was put in because Ken Shamrock pulled out.
Tell me about, you're watching Hoist. He's leaning against the octagon. You didn't know he wasn't going to fight at that time, right?
No, we didn't know. Hoist's father, they had talked. They were all in the corner. We're in the corner. We're ready. And Hoist's father, Elio, I think it was, looked over and said, no, I'm not going to fight Hoist with me like this. You know, Chemo gave him a pretty good pound. I don't know if he was dehydrated or whatever happened to him, but that's when they turned around and had the towel. No, we're not going. And that's when Harold got pissed off. He wanted to fight Hoist Gracie on pay-per-view TV. And yeah, that's how it happened. And but at least Harold got second place, $15,000 US. But a lot of people don't know about that deal. But we were walking back to the cage, and he hit his head on the big can. That light can must have been like 2.5 feet long, this big. All the lights going up and down, and we're walking through, and they got the fog machine on. Bonk. Yeah.
I mean, what was your reaction when you see him throw the towel in?
I was like, thank God. I was like, oh, good. We don't have to fight him. I'll fight Hoist Gracie about people. Because the early UFC, let's face it, it was an infomercial for Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. He was going to beat all those guys. And that's when Harold got pissed off, and I sort of started my delayed reaction, like, stomp around, damn it, no, shit, we want to fight Gracie. It's like, I'm saying to myself, no, I don't, you know. And so we thought, shit, we're going to go up to the final, we're going to fight an alternate, and we're going to win $50,000. Of course, it didn't work out that way, God damn it.
Because right after they put the camera on you, and you're like,
oh, yeah. I'm walking out of the cage. Harold Howard, baby, as I'm walking out. Because I knew Michael Pilat, the director, real well. And that's when he said, we got to have a camera on Charlie at the end of the fight if Harold Howard wins. Because he's going to do something epic. You know, shit, I was all ready, man. I was going to get on top of the cage and all that. Yeah.
What was the reaction in the back after Hoist threw in the towel? Like, you know, people back there, were they like...
Well, they you know, like, I'm sure they're all disappointed because they want to see a rematch with Shamrock and Gracie. You know, because he beat him in UFC 1 and they ended up fighting, I think, in UFC 5 or whatever it was later on. But, yeah, they were, like, shocked. It's like, what, he quit? You know, I mean, he wasn't feeling it right or whatever. Yeah, Chemo was, you know, gave him a tussle, you know, before he finally got him, like, Hoist won. And it was like, Jesus, you know, we were going to we were going to win $50,000 now that Hoist is out. There was nobody else in the tournament was going to beat Harold Howard, except for Steve Jenner.
Right, but I mean, you're witnessing kind of like this sort of like a historical. What I wonder is why did he come out if he wasn't going to fight?
Well, I'm sure they were not going to quit in the dressing room. The Gracie entourage, the Gracie train, the whole family coming out to the thing. But evidently Hoist wasn't feeling right, and his father didn't want to put him in a fight where he was like in no shape to fight.
Did they need to get a look at Harold first? Because part of me wonders, like, Harold looked
Yeah, well, they came.
up and down, and up and down.
Oh yeah, but back in the dressing room, they almost didn't let Harold fight. Harold goes, "No, I'm fine." I was like, "No, he's fine. He's good. He's good. He's good."
Mm-hmm.
And so he came out with a towel wrapped around his neck like this, because But yeah, they I don't know, maybe they. Yeah, I think they figured, well, Hoist is gonna can beat this Harold Howard too, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. He was either dehydrated or he was just not healthy, able to fight. And that's when they turned around and said, "At the towel, not going."
I wondered if they wanted to get a look at Harold first, and
Yeah, maybe.
Hoist just had a hard fight. Harold's bouncing up and down. You're bouncing up and down the corner.
Yeah, well, Harold Hoist had a tough fight.
Yeah.
Hoist had a tough fight, and probably said, "Man, I don't think I'm healthy enough to be fighting this big crazy Canadian guy, who has legitimate martial art credentials." And we'll never know.
And then after that, I don't think we saw Harold again.
Oh yeah, you saw him again in UFC 4. No, that was Kevin Rozier. Saw him in Buffalo at the UFC, Buffalo.
Yeah, I was trying.
And that's when he got beat by I forgot, he was a teammate of Don Fry now. Anyway, they thought Harold was gonna crush him. And that UFC, the 8-man draw was done in New York City at Boomer Esiason's bar. And Dennis Rodman was there. Dennis Rodman did the 8-man draw. They flew us all the way to New York and back just for that. And when we saw the guy Harold was going to fight, I thought, "Oh boy, it's going to be easy." And
Was that
Guy Metzger.
I think his name was Hall or something.
Oh yeah, Mark Hall.
Yeah, kind of skinny, smaller guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who rolled over in a fixed fight against Don Fry, which was obvious, because his manager Robert DiPergio wanted to make sure it was rigged so Don Fry could get into that whatever UFC that was. He was a shady character, but yeah, Guy Metzger. Guy Metzger goes up to John McCarthy after the draw. He goes, "I hope you're prepared to stop that fight because Harold Howard is going to pound the crap out of him." Well, that didn't work out either. And here we are in Buffalo, New York, and half the arena was full of Canadians, and they were going crazy. And I told UFC, I said, "You're going to do a show on Buffalo. We're in Hockeytown, USA, on the U.S.-Canadian border, and half the fans from Canada are going to come down for this fight." And he was just ready to get on top of Mark Hall, and Hall transitioned to flip them over. And that was the end of that. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And that's the night Marco Huas won in a super bout, I think it was. Or no, he won the 8-man tournament. And yeah, there were a lot of good fighters at UFC. But Dan, we were always this close from the grand prize, And Harold came out with his Haynes wife beater T-shirt. That was his signature fighting outfit. And I'll never forget, we're at the airport flying back from the draw, at Boomer's Bar in New York City. Guy comes up to Harold Howard. And he, man, I saw you in UFC 3. Man, you got knocked the fuck out. He goes, nobody knocked the fuck me. Nobody knocked me the fuck out. I tapped out like a man. He said, and yeah, it was. The kid looked at him like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, he was a lovable guy. Then he,
After that,
and I brought him to Japan for the first time. When Federico Lapenda took me to Japan, we did do Valley Tudos. Harold Howard was one of the guys that came and that fought, and he fought Hugo Duarte and lost to Hugo Duarte in the Valley Tudo there. But he was a character, lovable guy, honest, never stiffed me out of my commission, and yeah, and
Federico
then we.
pretty interesting too.
Pardon?
Federico Lapenda was a pretty interesting character too.
Good, dear friend of mine, still to this day. Guy came here with nothing, worked at Pizza Hut, that paid money to go to film school. Then he became like a loan shark for the Brazilians, loaning him money to buy their first car. Like he got Hickson Gracie's first car and all that. And then he put up the money to put Carlson Gracie's jiu-jitsu gym in Westwood Village, and he never paid the fucking rent. And the guy calls Federico, what the fuck, you're not paying the rent? What do you mean he's not paying the rent? So that's when Federico shut the fucking doors on the dojo. So you're not paying this rent? I put my sign for this for you? Yeah. Now he's a big shot in the movie business.
Yeah.
And, we're very good friends. I would go there to see him all the time, and he comes to Vegas once in a while. And yeah, good friend of mine.
And now you're still like involved with some stuff out there at the UFC. You put some pictures.
Well, I gave that up at the end of 2019. I was an inspector. We're the guys in the burgundy jackets. I have a thing for red jacket. The burgundy jackets, we watch them do their hand wraps. We sign off the wraps. They got to be done according to the rules. A certain amount of tape, a certain amount of gauze. We take them out to the ring. We're on camera. We're in the octagon or in boxing in the ring between rounds to make sure they're not drinking anything illegal that wasn't approved or doing anything like that. And I was one of the guys that was involved in Greasegate when George St. Pierre was fighting BJ Penn. Now here's George St. Pierre's actually, I was watching ringside. I didn't work that particular fight. And there's Phil Nurse, the kickboxing trainer from the Jackson gym. He's like, got a jar of Vaseline. I'm like, put my Vaseline on. Yeah, that's fine. But then he's rubbing his back. Oh, I was just doing these breathing exercises. And I told Keith Kaiser, he's wrapping fucking Vaseline on his back. Keith Kaiser, the boxing commissioner, he walked up there, got the fucking jar of Vaseline, threw it out the cage. Because we could see that. Me and another one of the inspectors were watching, Mike Ski. Did you see what he's doing? I said, yeah, I see what he's doing. Because BJ Penn would come back to the corner. He goes, he's greasing. Because, BJ Penn would use like a rubber guard, and his legs kept slipping down. It's like.
Francisco in.
Well, look who's there. Francisco Chico Bueno.
Anzalone.
Sergio Battarelli. I mentioned Sergio on this podcast.
Nah.
Hey,
Sergio, you look like my rabbi.
All you guys. Hey, Sergio.
Yeah. Fala, Chicão. Faz tempo que eu não te vejo, hein?
Porra, bom te ver, cara. Tá bem na pinta aí, hein?
That's my rabbi, Rabbi Battarelli.
Yeah,
that's good, man. I'm here with the legends here, man. 3 big legends. That's good. It's an honor to be here, man.
He's Francisco Chico Bueno. Yeah, he's Francisco said he was better judo than jiu-jitsu. Maida judo, right?
For me, it's pretty much like both, Charlie. I love judo, man. Jiu-jitsu is much easier.
Yeah.
I like I have like a lot of stuff when I said about jiu-jitsu, man. Jiu-jitsu is a kind of martial arts people don't realize that is a sport. You gotta pay attention. People, guys, like as a black belt jiu-jitsu is not gonna be able to fight MMA sometimes, and
No.
people don't realize that the fight starts standing up. So it's the striking, and then you go to the ground if you're capable to do that. But you know, I love both judo, jiu-jitsu, but MMA is a different game.
Altogether.
Altogether, definitely. Yeah, I believe in the strike first, and then jiu-jitsu you get a hold in your arsenal. So if you need it, you use it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very controversy, man, with the Gracies and all that. I always said, guys, jiu-jitsu is a sport. You know, if you do their game, and then you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
But if you don't do their game, you cut them.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole different world. You know.
Who was it like? One of the Gracies said when Horion and them came to America, you know, go into the dojos and beat all their black belt karate guys, you'll be famous. Then Hilyusen Gracie told Carlson and them, go to America and teach the son of rich men, and you'll be famous. Like he taught John Williams' son jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you know, it's better that way. The Gracies, they one thing they did very well in their life was the marketing. You know.
Oh,
the
UFC was a commercial for Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Of course, and I don't take anything out of jiu-jitsu. I'm a coral belt in jiu-jitsu right now. I'm like 7 degrees a coral belt, but we gotta understand the reality. People think is a big mistake. More in Brazil, oh, the guy is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Doesn't mean shit, because the nervous system of jiu-jitsu training day by day, when you hold the gi, you're not getting punched.
Right? Yeah.
First punch, the black belt becomes brown belt. Second punch becomes purple belt. The third punch is a blue belt, and then you know, it's no more game. You know, so you gotta be like, you know, you gotta be real. You know, you gotta do everything, man. If you don't know how to box, if you don't know how to kick, you know, you're in trouble.
And Sergio's done very well in the boxing business. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks to you, Charlie. You introduced me to Brad Goodman in Vegas, like what, 10 years ago, 12 years ago?
Yeah. Top rank matchmaker.
Oh, that's nice.
Since then, I represent Top Rank in Brazil.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good. That's good to
know,
man.
I'm happy for you. I saw that.
Thank you. And I met you in Japan like what, 20 years ago, more than that?
You were the referee.
Yeah, that's it.
In Frederico. He was a referee in Frederico Lapenda's Valley Tudo at the BNK Hall in Japan. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was the announcer. I was the ring-announcer, and he was the referee. That's when Harold Howard fought Hugo Duarte.
That's it.
Wow, man. That's great. That's great. Great to know, man.
We filmed 2 shows that day. And it was so hot. Remember? We had to change our clothes. We were all sweaty. It was so hot.
Yeah. Was my first time in Japan. Then
well, mine too.
Then I went to Japan every month.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan, man. Good memories of that place. Beautiful.
Good.
I'm here in the middle of nowhere, man. I have no idea where I am right now. I'm in Iowa. You know what? I love the place, man. It's like very like naive people, pure people. You know, It's been great so far, man. We have the champ here. He's fighting on Saturday.
Hey guys.
Yeah, he looks like he's training.
I gotta put some pounds on him, man. We're fighting 2 divisions up.
Yeah. So, why did you take a fight 2 divisions up?
Because no one's fight him. Todd was the one that went after everyone in America to fight this kid. No one was fighting him. The promoter of this show says he put a award and a good money. He ended up like $6,000 to fight him here in Iowa. It's a big chunk of money for here, you know. And no one wants to fight him. And then we're fighting a guy 2 divisions up. I'm going cookies, pizza, burgers.
As long as you get paid.
There you go. Yeah, it's we not worry about that. We're fighting for the belt. Todd,
Bottarelli, he paid when it's Sergio Bottarelli. He is the promoter who came up to me to get Chuck Liddell to fight Pelé in Brazil. He was the promoter.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Bottarelli was a legend, man. He started the whole game.
The day of
He's
before the fight, I pay everybody.
Kevin Rozier was going to fight Sergio Bottarelli in Brazil for the FFKA championship.
Yeah.
And Kevin didn't have a passport, a current passport.
And by the way, Bottarelli was the one man alive that submit me. He passed me out with choke. You guys know that?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Remember that, Sergio?
You let my rabbi choke you out?
No, man. I knocked Jason Godse down. I knocked him down in the fight. Bottarelli was the referee, and I didn't stop punching the guy. And Bottarelli come behind my neck, choked me out. I was passing out and started the fight again. That's a good one, man.
That's funny.
That's a really good one. Yeah, that's good.
Well, Francisco lives in Las Vegas now.
Yeah, I'm in Las Vegas. Yeah, came to Iowa. Get the fight, going back to Brazil Monday, take care of some paperwork, and then come back to Vegas.
Yeah. And
I start feeling the heat, my friend. As you told me, Charlie, the heat, man, unbelievable.
Oh, it's 100 degrees today.
Huh?
100 degrees today.
Yeah, man. Man, like you put an egg in the street, you're done, man.
Yeah.
That's it. You got the lunch. Unbelievable. Yeah, man.
I'm glad you're here in Las Vegas. Finally.
Yeah, man. I'm glad too. We gotta hooked up more. Like I love that coffee you thought. Like you went to that meeting to see you.
Yeah, Founders Coffee. They got good coffee there. Yeah.
Yeah, good coffee, man. And we need to bring Todd to Las Vegas too, man. Todd is he's the guy, man. He's the one. He's guilty right now to Carlos the belt in this event.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, we're good.
I hope you get the win. You got to win.
Oh, we got to win. Yeah, exactly, Charlie. We're ready for this, the training. I've been doing myself. I'm his sparring partner, man. So we're going all out, He's
I thought Monty Cox was the only promoter back up that way. He's still promoting, isn't he?
Right now, man, I think the way I see things here in Iowa when I came here, this guy, man, Mike Estus, is for real. Unbelievable show, very organized, has everything like very clean, very unbelievable on time. It's amazing. I was right now, man, we're in love with this place, it's amazing. And that's all I can say is thank you for Todd, because he was the one that hooked us up. He went searching hard to get us a fight. He put in the Facebook, Instagram, and a lot of words in the a lot of promoters, and they put a word over there. And Charlie, no one wants to fight this kid, And Todd hooked us up, a tough guy here, accept the fight, So we're so happy, to. The guy's hometown, actually, two divisions up. Yeah. Like yesterday was a pancakes at night, pizza, burgers. We got to put some 5 or 10 pounds more in Carlos, to enjoy the fight. Yeah. It's good. It's been good so far.
I'll see you when you come back.
Definitely, man. We're coming back on Sunday. Maybe get some coffee, and then Monday.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive to LA, and because our flight is at night, so it's but it's good. We spent like 2 weeks in Brazil, taking care of things. Carlos is gonna be able to see his family, So it's been great, man. It's been great so far,
Francisco,
Las Vegas.
Francisco Bueno is Mr. Vegas now. Now he's got the Corvette convertible now, the brand new Corvette.
That's good. You know, I'm happy. I have my wife in Vegas. I have my family. I have my son. You know, I have Carlos there. We're training. We know we're just living a good life and do the best as we can. You know, and get ready because Carlos, man, we're going to the top of the world. You know, I'm sure we got the W this Saturday, and after that, man, great things coming up. You know, we planned that, and we here like to make that happen in the best way to do it. And I hope everyone get tuned on Saturday. It's on pay-per-view worldwide. So we're gonna get the belt. We bring to Las Vegas, and then we get to Brazil.
Good. Super.
Yeah, it's great, man.
But it was fun in the old times of MMA.
Oh, I remember, Charlie.
Oh,
You the
remember
one that booked me to go to Abu
I
Dhabi.
booked, who's the guy? Marco? I sent the Shudo. Remember he was
Yeah,
supposed
Marco,
to
man. Yeah, you sent Marco. You sent another fighter, another student that I got
Two
that
of your
day.
guys, I sent them the Shudo. And we had to get him a passport or a visa. And so we went to the professor. Remember?
I
What's his
remember
name?
that, man. It was amazing.
He
Oh,
went
we
and
talk, man.
used his political connections to get their passport and their visas.
That's true. That's right. Because Japan wouldn't give the visa in the United States for him.
João Alberto Barreto.
That's nice. You're right.
Yeah, the professor. He was a referee in the first UFC.
Wow, man, that's
Remember?
we're talking about we're talking
Yeah.
about the beginning of the
He
war.
was like he's like great. He was like Gracie's right hand. Alberto Barreto. He was like Gracie's right hand man. You know,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
powerful guy down in Brazil too. He had a lot of political connections, business connections. Yeah,
totally,
yeah,
man. He's still around, man. You know, they're still around. Those guys
yeah.
are, you know, it's amazing. I guess maybe he's 90 years old, something like
Oh
that. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. He's a grandmaster, man. He's old school. He's one of the pioneers.
yeah. So I'm so happy, man, to be here. You know, it's a different experience. We like as I said, we in Iowa, in the middle of nowhere, just corns and cows and pigs and fighters. You know, so
Well,
that's
at least you can eat good.
that's right. And not only that, I was very surprised. They took us yesterday to train at the gym. Man, it was an amazing atmosphere. I trained, Carlos trained. Man, the guys was awesome over there. Very, very educated, very kind. People was amazing here. So I can't wait to get Saturday, man. Today I'm gonna teach a seminar here. You know, in Iowa. It's everyone is very excited, and the guy prepared like a Japanese buffet after the
Oh,
seminar. You know, like yeah, it's amazing, man. It just
I thought some of the best wrestlers in the world came out of Iowa State and University of Iowa. You know, Rico Chiapparelli from the Raw
yeah,
team. You know, he wrestled at Iowa. Great.
yeah. You said
All
the
the
right
great
thing.
wrestlers, collegiate Olympic wrestlers.
Yeah,
But
the wrestlers here is amazing.
I was talking to Danny Cormier about that because I was the event coordinator and I trained the officials in Australia before the UFC went there years back. And he was the XFC champion in Australia before he ever came here. So we're in Australia, we're talking. I said, yeah, Danny, I said, yeah, man, you know, you were a collegiate champion. I said, boy, Iowa sure has great wrestling, don't they? He goes, well, let me just set you straight. Oklahoma, we have more NCAA champions than Iowa did. You know?
But overall, no.
Oklahoma.
Overall, Iowa is the first state. Overall, is
Yeah.
so it's far. You know, Iowa is the best wrestling in the world. You know, and this guy we're fighting.
That college wrestling in Iowa packs,
Yeah,
packs
you
arena.
know,
Oh, same in
they
Oklahoma, you know, like I went to watch Penn State and Oklahoma State 2 years ago at the basketball arena on
Yeah.
campus. It was full.
Oh yeah, amazing.
yeah, it's a big thing here, man.
Yeah.
Big thing. Football and also, man, I'm very excited because we're finding a guy who's pretty much well rounded in everything. He's a bigger guy. He's a wrestler. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. He's a striker. He's been fighting. He fought LFA 3 times. You know, he knocked the guy out. He knocked the guy down actually. He's the UFC. So we had our hands full for Saturday. You know, it's very exciting. Carlos is an incredible test for him. Now he's top of the game. So we can't wait. We can't wait, man. We're here. It's gonna be beautiful, and the venue, like the Mason Arena, man, it's beautiful. Like the octagon, the setup, very professional, very high end, everything. You know, it's just amazing. You know,
They had you
amazing.
on the radio, right?
Huh?
They had you guys on the radio the other day?
Oh yeah, we were on the radio the other day, man. Like the best radio of hip hop in Las Vegas. So it was good, man. It was a big show. It was beautiful. You know, they're all excited about Carlos. You know, they know their capability. You know, so we're putting together. You know, we're putting together. So I can't wait. So you guys get to, man. I think I sent you the link, right, Todd, for the fight.
Yeah, I'll send it to you, Charlie.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'll send it to Charlie too.
Oh, yeah,
Good.
yeah, I want so I can see it.
That'll be good. You fight. And by the way, the card.
That's Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday the 21st now, and the card it's good, man. You know, good fighters, good quality fighters. So yeah, we're gonna get some lunch right now. I got this kid some pounds over now. So the thing is, he's happy, man. Always a week before the fight, it's all sadness, you know, all like starving, very skinny, weak.
Oh, cutting weight is the worst.
Yeah.
I used to watch fighters cut when De La Hoya fought Pacquiao. HBO asked me if I'd weigh the fighters. We do like the unofficial HBO weigh-in before the fight. And so I weighed Manny Pacquiao. He weighed whatever, like 135, 38, whatever it was. Then De La Hoya looked fit, trim, and ripped. I put him on the scale. I'm starting to move the weight, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, well, Oscar, you weigh 1 pound more than you did yesterday. Right then I knew he was shot. He didn't carb up, dehydrate. He should have weighed 10 pounds more the next day after the weigh-in. He looked all in. Then after like the 5th, 6th round, he was like shaking his hands. Couldn't keep his hands up. He was all lean and ripped, but he was shot all dehydrated for cutting weight or nothing. He weighed 1 pound more the day of the fight than he did the weigh-in the day before. 1 pound.
1 pound.
That's all. He was shot. Right then I knew. I said, this fight ain't gonna go on. And
Unbelievable.
they stopped it after the 7th, 8th round, whatever. But yeah, he was shaking his hands, his arms. He couldn't keep his arms up. That's how shot he was.
God, we have over here, you have in your show right now, the guy is a legend. Charlie, man, like the boxing world, the MMA world, own this guy so much, you know. Both of you guys, you know. So it's amazing. So much stories, so much great things.
I had fun with it for sure.
Yeah, man, I'm totally agree with that, Charlie. That was you the one. Charlie is the one that put me in Abu Dhabi, the first Abu Dhabi.
Oh yeah, and you would have won the final. He armbarred Nakaldi, the Russian Olympic wrestler, never been beat before. Francisco.
Yeah, I beat that guy. Yeah,
and then Francisco got sick. Guy Nivens called me from Abu Dhabi. He said, Charlie, Bueno is sick. You were throwing up all this green stuff and all this. He's got the flu or he's sick. I said, you got to be kidding. So who was he going to fight for the grand prize?
I beat
you would have fought Rico Rodriguez.
In the final.
In the final, you would have mopped the floor with him. Oh, and I go, you got to be kidding. Rico Rodriguez won the first Abu Dhabi, and Francisco was sitting there throwing up people.
Man, I was throwing up blood at that time because the fight with the Russian was a 3 overtime.
Yeah. Nobody ever beat Nakaldi. You know, he was as good as Karelin, they think. You know.
Yeah. So was amazing fight. You know, we went overtime.
Abu Dhabi won. It was $50,000 prize.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I was there, man, and you took me there, and that was right after my fight against Jason Godsey. You know,
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
fought
yeah.
God, yeah, when I fought Godsey in Brazil. So, man, it was a good time,
Yeah, it
great time.
was.
Guys, so good to be here. It was an honor again, to be with you guys. Stay tuned on Saturday. We're fighting on pay-per-view, so we're very excited. So right now, we're gonna go eat. I'm gonna have this kid here starving, and I'm starving also. Let's eat some pigs and cows and corns. All right,
Yeah.
guys.
All right.
And yeah, we lost Bonarelli there. I guess it was
Yeah, it was in the right time that I told
it,
him that he
it
choked
was
me
good.
out.
It was good to see him, you two together.
Yeah, that was good, man. Barak
Yeah.
was, I'm not kidding. There, you gotta see that fight. He choked me out. I was totally out. I passed out, and I wake up. They started, let's start a fight again. So,
Oh,
man,
that's
that's
funny.
what happened, man. It was really fun. Guys, that was always a pleasure. I was an honor to be with you guys, around you guys, legends in the sport. The sports own you guys so much, the work you guys done and keep doing it. It's amazing. I just, want to say thank you again for you guys, and stay tuned. And we get in touch when I get back to Vegas. And Todd, we always here.
Yeah.
Take care, my
Absolutely.
friend.
I'll see you next week.
All right.
See ya.
Take care,
Good
guys.
luck.
Thank you.
Hey, he's learning English. He says thank you. He's got to learn more English.
Well, it was great talking with you. I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Oh, great talking to you too. That's
If you
fun.
do it again, and I do a show with some guys, Lights Out podcast. It's like bigger, but they do a lot of history stuff. So I have a feeling they'll probably reach out to you here pretty soon. I think because I told them, hey, I found this guy. He's so they do a lot of historical stuff with the UFC, but it's bigger than mine. But yeah, but I appreciate you taking time to do this. So
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Absolutely.
So it's great talking to you, and I'll send you this interview, and I'll make some videos of it and stuff.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
All right.
And great talking to you, and good luck with your podcast.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Okay, see ya.
Have a great day.
Bye.